Hello and welcome to Niner Sports Talk. I am your host, Blake Rose.
I am your host, Spencer Tritt.
And today we're going to be covering the Carolina Panthers. Kind of a surprising twist that kind of just unfolded. I don't think a whole lot of people they definitely had good intentions coming into this season with some of the big pickups, most notably McMillan. But I think that it was a nice surprise for a lot of Panthers fans.
I think we should preface that neither one of us are Panthers fans.
Right, yes. Neither of us are Panthers fans, but we certainly paid attention. And
I am probably further from a Panthers fan than Blake is. When the Panthers went to the Super Bowl in 2015, I was the only Chiefs fan in my school. And now, of course, I feel like it's a way better thing to be a Chiefs fan. But the kids were so, I don't know. They would troll me almost for being a Chiefs fan because the Panthers were good. And I never let that go. And that's the petty part of me that never let that go. But I was pleasantly surprised with them.
I was as well.
Surprised with Bryce Young, a player that just a year and a half ago was benched for Andy Dalton. And if Andy Dalton had not, didn't he get in a car accident?
It was something like that, right?
He was injured, and then Bryce Young comes back and has played good. And there's a lot of hot takes about, is Bryce Young the guy? And I don't think that either one of us are qualified to answer that. But
I certainly am spoiled because as a Packers fan, I went straight from Favre to Rodgers to Jordan Love.
Who is a top 5 Ryan Tannehill of all time.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me who's to rank those, I think it's Aaron Rodgers first, Brett Favre just slightly below Aaron Rodgers, and then Jordan Love is a decent step below both of those. A starting quarterback nonetheless, but I certainly think that there are some issues that we're going into season 4 of Jordan Love not being the starting quarterback, or season 3 maybe of Jordan Love being the starting quarterback, and I've yet to sort of see these same kinks that he had in that first starting season be ironed out, but we're not talking Packers, we're talking Panthers.
Yeah.
I share your sentiment of Bryce Young being sort of a
he's just a guy.
I say it as it's kind of a treat that he is as decent as he is. I wouldn't necessarily say that he's great, but I certainly think that he's good to decent. I definitely think I think there are worse starting quarterbacks than he is. If you ask me who would you prefer on the Packers, Bryce Young or Justin Fields, that's a pretty easy decision.
I still got hope Justin Fields is going to figure it out.
I'm taking Bryce Young. I'm taking that might be a hot take.
I'm still on Justin Fields.
That might be a hot take. Wanting to take
I drafted him in fantasy.
Justin Fields over Bryce Young. Because,
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I still believe he can do it.
No, I mean I believe that the guy can play football.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so.
To lose hope.
But no, I agree with you. I just think it's a treat that Bryce Young is as good.
Formidable. Yeah.
That he actually led a team. I mean, if we're taking it straight fact, Bryce Young led a team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
However you paint it, and now
back-to-back losses to end the year, they still found a way in there.
Well, and also they had some help from the Falcons and the Buccaneers, but they had some help by being in the worst conference in the NFL.
They didn't help themselves by getting swept by the Saints. And shout out Tyler Shuck.
I guess.
A man who's older than my sister, who has a master's degree, which is insane.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck is 27. I'm on board with Shuck. But let me say this about the Panthers, and I'm pleading to Panthers fans out here. Don't come for me just because I said,
Hot take incoming. Hot take incoming.
Your fans, when I was in middle school, were mean to me. This does not have to do with that. You got to decide what it is you do on offense. I think the defense is fun. I'm not going to be Cam Newton. I'm not going to hit you with a kadoosh on Xavier Legette. But what is it that you do on offense? Because if I was Dave Canales, which clearly I'm not, but if I was, why is Rico Dowdle not the most important player on your offense? He single-handedly won me 4 straight weeks of fantasy. And then they just got Chuba Hubbard back from injury and decided to shut down Rico Dowdle and then intermittently bring him back. I'm not saying that's why they lost the playoff game. They lost the playoff game because Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua and the rest of that.
Now, let's also say they barely lost that playoff game. It
to
wasn't like a blowout
to a team that is a month ago.
Well, and also to a team that in the beginning of the season I said was going to win the Super Bowl. I said that I was like, in the beginning, in the first 9 weeks of the NFL season, I was like, there is not a team in the NFL that can beat the Los Angeles Rams. And then the past 9 games, I've been like, I think there are quite a few teams that might be able to beat that did beat the Rams. I think they were really, really productive and then kind of faltered. And I think Carolina kind of took advantage of that.
Yeah.
Ultimately didn't take as good enough advantage of that,
never,
but
the Rams never really got to put their guard down during that game. I mean,
yeah, they certainly went into that game thinking it was going to be a pushover, and the Panthers weren't having it.
I will say, as you know, we are Charlotte, University of North Carolina, Charlotte. I'll say, to clarify, sports fans, because we're not Panthers fans, but we are both Hornets fans, and seeing the city kind of rally around a team like that makes me really hope the Hornets can pull off a push.
I've said it
to the play.
I've said it many times. I've said it many times on this podcast, either just by myself or with other guests on, and then I've said it off camera multiple times as well, that it is objectively more enjoyable as a resident of the city when that city sports team is good. And I most notably think of when I travel to Raleigh on break or on summer break or whatever, and the Canes are in the playoffs. It's just it's better than when it's like, because I went from 2006 to just a couple of years ago when the Hurricanes were the bottom of the Metro pretty much every season. It was
they
just
were talking about moving us to Quebec,
unenjoyable.
moving them to Quebec.
It was just it was just unenjoyable. It was not fun in the slightest. And now we're going into like our 3rd or 4th season where every game has been sold out, and it's like it's just objectively more enjoyable when the team that is in your city, whether you're a fan or not, is good. And I think that that's something that we saw. It's like I enjoyed when I was watching the game. I didn't go to the game, obviously. Ticket prices were crazy, but I watched the game on the television, and seeing Bank of America is as packed as I've ever seen it for a football game. I mean, it certainly sells out for concerts, but a football game doesn't generally grab a lot of crowds. But this one certainly did.
The Eagles are in town, or the Chiefs are in town,
right?
Or one of these perennial, the Bills are in town, right? The stadium doesn't sell out like that. And even like, I'm not a soccer guy, but watching how the stadium fills up at least the lower bowl capacity for Charlotte
FC games. Yeah,
this
absolutely.
Is a city that desperately wants to be good in sports. And I think the Panthers, granted, it's an 8-9 season where you lost in the wild card. It's something better. It's something to build on. We were just talking off air about how I don't know that you make Bryce Young the guy, but you certainly, you got a guy, right? You're kind of looking with like a, if it's Madden, Bryce Young is probably like a 79 overall, which granted, Michael Penix would be like a 72, and, some of Spencer Rattler's probably like a 65, right? Like, these are players that are not as good as Bryce Young. There's certainly players that are better than Bryce Young, but you're not going to get anything better right now. There's no reclamation project quarterbacks out there that you could bring in to give him some competition. I think it's good for the Panthers to have made the postseason.
I think so, too.
Objectively.
Yeah.
I think going into, you had your Harris Teeter story, but
right.
I drove, I went by a quick trip on like that Saturday afternoon, and seeing the amount of people that were in there buying, adult beverages and stuff, and thinking like, why is everybody buying? It's like, oh, because it's Saturday. It's a Panthers playoff game in January. This is a cool vibe to see that. It's the first time I've lived in a city, when a team has been in the postseason, and I've lived in that city. An NFL team's been in the postseason and lived in that city, and it's like, this is cool. Yeah. I feel the sense of energy that's here. Even if I'm not a Panthers fan, it was exciting to see that vibe. And admittedly, even though I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl in my little playoff bracket, I kind of wanted the Panthers to win it at the end.
I think, I kind of wanted them to win as well. I saw that they pulled out a little bit ahead, and I was like, I think that they might actually have a shot here. I wanted to, not that I have any ill will against Matthew Stafford. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks. I think he is the best. Like, I think he's kind of a shoo-in for MVP, especially with how Josh Allen has handled some things past over.
Shout out Charlotte native Drake May.
Yeah, for real. Actually, that's a really good point. Thank you for pointing that out. I think it's pretty. It's pretty. I still think Matthew Stafford's a little bit better
Yeah,
and
I
also
think it's
deserves it as well because
more of a legacy. It's kind of like
I think
like
he's a little bit
Mariota won the Heisman kind of thing. Like
exactly.
you
Who
had
knows?
a good career, take one.
Yeah, who knows how much longer Matthew
Yeah,
Stafford's
he might
going to
not play
play.
next
Drake
year.
May is only in his second season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of things to think about for the people who decide those kind of things. But one question that I want to ask you before we wrap up this segment is Rico Dowdle. Do you shop him? Do you keep him? I believe he's on a expiring contract, or
that he won't be back.
he implied that he won't be back. How do you, if you are GM Panthers, how do you handle that with Hubbard coming back and sort of wanting to, because obviously the goal for the Panthers is to make the wild card again and exceed the wild card. That's obviously the trajectory that they're going in now. If they hadn't made the playoffs, then we would be questioning another sort of rebuild season. But I don't think there's a whole lot of questions in Panthers fans' minds that they're going to try to achieve the same, if not better, results next season. So do you shop Dowdle? Do you shop, do you try to look for a guy that can back up Hubbard if he continues injury troubles? How do you take this?
I think the best way to look at it is, even though I'm not going to say Rico Dowdle is a top 5 running back in the NFL, but look at the Cowboys' rushing offense this year, and look at how much better it would have been if Rico Dowdle was on that team. Think about yourself. Look in the mirror. Say, do you really believe that Chuba Hubbard is that much better than Rico Dowdle that you wouldn't even consider bringing him back?
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's just sign him to a 1-year or maybe even a 2-year deal and give him some training camp competition, and then if by early or late August, early September that he's not going to be your running back one far and away, then shop him to somebody that's going to look for a running back. I mean, somebody's going to take a running back at some point in the offseason and trade for him. You have an option to bring him back, give some competition, and then decide if this is the direction you want to go in. I think the one piece they're missing on offense, and I mean, other than like we said, you can always improve at quarterback there, but I think it's gotten to a point now where has Bryce Young not proved that, you should keep him? But outside of that, I think you need a second wide receiver that's really consistent.
Think so too.
Ted McMillan has been terrific this year. I mean,
wonderful.
He was
Very great.
A surprise in my my NFL predictions. I didn't feel like I saw him coming, but
yeah,
he's been good. You need another one. I don't know that Leggett is very clearly the guy.
Cam Newton would disagree with anybody saying he was Leggett was the Kadoosh. And then who was the? It was Keon Coleman was the cookies and the. Yeah. Oh, I love cookies, and the Cam Newton is. If anybody watching this or listening to this has not seen the clips about Cam Newton, sort of not giving grace to young players, it's very funny.
If Cam Newton,
the big hats and
this, anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Yeah,
welcome.
You are welcome to say whatever you want on our podcast.
We won't even talk to you about the Panthers. I will only talk to him about his one season at Auburn, because that was beautiful. Regardless, I think you got to bring Dowdle back. I don't know in what world you don't bring Dowdle back unless the money is that high. And it's like, well, we could spend it on something else. You got to bring him back. If you finally want to prove in this era of ownership for the Panthers, this era of coaching regime changes and everything that has just gone kind of wrong with the Panthers, you got to prove that you're serious.
Right.
That this is not just hey, we got lucky and backdoored our way into.
That's what I was saying about how I'm sure everybody in that entire building is saying, okay, next season we're not just going to go right back to bottom of the NFC South. We're not going to try to achieve the same success.
And winning the conference, that'd be incredible. Winning the division in a way that's not losing 2 straight and, tripping, on your way into the door at 8-9.
Right.
Having to hope for a Falcons win. You gotta take a step, and even if paying Dowdle is the wrong decision or proves to be the wrong decision later on, I don't think you'd regret doing it in March. I don't think you'd regret giving him that money and just saying, look, you prove something to us. We believe that you can be a guy here, and if come August he's not the guy, then let him go. Ship him off or cut him or something. You're going to get something in return for him. Somebody's always going to look for a running back. I'm sure the Jets or somebody will need a running back at that point.
Right.
And,
Right.
There's options around it. But what would hurt the most is if you let him go and then he's signed by somebody else. And then you look just like the Cowboys did this year and say, why did we let that guy walk out of our building?
Yeah.
Why did we not extend that guy an offer? I mean, this is a player that, I feel like we're getting like really deep into a Rico Dowdle analysis, but this is a guy that, he proved his worth. I mean, he proved this year that he should have been brought back by the Cowboys last year. And I think that he has the potential that if he went somewhere else to prove to the Panthers that should have brought me back again. So, I mean, that's kind of my whole, I guess, opinion on Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
But I will say,
No, that's a good take.
most importantly, that don't go superstar shopping. Don't go look for somebody big. Don't go say, this player's available in a trade. This guy, don't sell the farm for something, because what you have right now is consistent. It's good. The NFC South won't be the same division next year as it is this year. Don't know if Baker Mayfield will have his same cast of characters.
Well, yeah.
You don't know that he'll be healthy enough. You don't know where the Falcons are going with a coach. The Saints could sneak up on you if Tyler Shuck, makes himself the, certain in a way starter next year. That Saints could be good, but don't go say, trade important role players or trade picks for somebody who you think is going to put you over the top, when you could still, if you play better and don't lose as many silly games this year, you could have been a better team. You can be a better team next year. I don't think that, what I don't want to see the Panthers do is overreact. I don't want to see them go and, knee-jerk reaction, pick somebody up or do something just to say that they did it. You know? You don't want to get, somebody hands you a check for $100,000. You can either put it in your savings or you can go buy a nice car, and then you're going to just have a nice car with no house, right? So keep that money in savings and, figure out what you want to do.
I think a lot of Panthers fans share that sentiment of not wanting to overshop for a guy. But with that being said, the Panthers season is over, and so is this episode. But there is always next season, and there will be much more to talk about when it comes to Charlotte sports in the next episode of Niner Sports Talk. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you all in the next episode.